A little bit of a country lane ride, as you can see, and I'm on the F700GS, and I thought it'd be a good chance to hit a truck head on. No, I thought it'd be a good chance to kind of review my progress off-road thus far and the experiences I've had, and you know what I've noticed, blah blah blah. So even before I actually had my first off-road venture, which you all saw on Yamaha Part 2, I was posed with a few complicated questions, and that was who to ride with. Now, I do have a group of riding friends, but they're all road riders, so that was a bit of a pain. I did get one of them to defect to dual sport riding, but because of our busy schedules and we both have partners and our own lives, it's hard to get those to come together with the same spare time, so it's very difficult for us to get off-road together. So I was faced with the question whether to just be patient and just go out when friends were available, which was one person, or do I push on ahead by myself with the risks that obviously entails. You know, everything, it's a little more worrying going off-road by yourself than it is riding on the road by yourself, purely because the variables are exponentially higher for going wrong with the motorcycle. So there's always a little more concern. So I decided to forge ahead, take the risks, and just take it real easy and go ahead by myself. And it's good. I'm glad I did, because I'm the kind of person, I'm fairly independent. I'm happy to be by myself. I'm a bit more of an introvert than some people would assume. The only problem was that there's no one to give you encouragement, to talk you out of wimping out of obstacles. So I wasn't pushing myself to any extent, and I was certainly not exploring and staying out there as long as I would like, because I was talking myself out of it. So that was getting down on me a bit, but my wife, rightly so, kicked me in the pants, so to speak, and she told me to get on an ADV rider, which I've been a member of for years but never really posted. What do you got? Ducati Triumph. Nice. Oh, Ducati Triumph, sorry. Yeah, so I bit the bullet. Contacted a few guys who were going on a ride, asked if I could join them. Said sure. Anyway, long story short, I found one rider that's at exactly the same beginning level as me, and a group of guys that are really friendly and really helpful. You saw them in the Jarradale run video. Just wealth of wisdom, those blokes, and very encouraging, which was a real nice surprise, because being a road rider for many years, you tend to go on plenty of group rides over time, and the kind of characters that you come across are usually 99% of the time I'll be happy never to see the blokes I've ridden with on the road again. And I don't know whether that's because of the type of bike I was riding and the personality that attracts, but that was the experience I had. So yeah, that was a nice surprise. The next obstacle will be with the people I'm riding with and stuff. What I have experienced more so with track riding than road riding, but to some extent road riding, is that it can't just be that you're friends and you can ride. You can do that, but not all the time, because sometimes people's skill levels just rule them out of some riding experiences, or you grow at different rates. So you're wanting to push the envelope, say, and your friend, or say myself, wants to go slower, and that kind of holds you back. You will then go and search for people that you can do that kind of riding with. I'm not saying ditch all your friends and because they don't ride the same as you. I still make plenty of time for the road riders and that thing, but I felt I needed to move on. And the next question is whether I will develop my skills at the same rate as the rest of the guys I'm currently riding with. Will be an interesting thing to document. Anyway, God, I haven't even taken a breath, I've just been babbling. So I thought I'd get on to the most important things I've learnt off-road so far. Number one would be turning off-road. I don't know how I was doing it before someone told me, but basically the best way of doing it for a dual sport rider is by transferring your weight through the foot pegs. Foot pegs, you say? Yes, through the foot pegs. So say if I wanted to turn left and I'm standing up on the bike, I would transfer my weight to the left peg, take my weight off the right, and as you can see, the bike veers to the left and to the right. So obviously that isn't a technique for taking a 90-degree corner at speed. It's more for taking slow corners and dodging obstacles like rocks and, as I found out, dead kangaroos and whatever other kind of animals decided to end its life on the road. So that was really helpful. One thing that I learnt through encouragement and just trial and error was, within reason, commit to the obstacle. You know, don't second guess yourself. If you have a feeling you can do it, do it. Wave to the speed camera. I should stay on my side of the road. Yeah, so I found myself, when I was riding alone, I would hit an obstacle and then I would stop, look at it, see if I could do it, and then second guess myself. And if I did attempt it, I didn't go into it wholeheartedly, and then I would get into trouble and come off. And along the way I thought, well, screw it, I'm going to come off anyway, I might as well have a proper crack at it. And since I've been attacking the dirt with that attitude, I'm a lot more confident. I haven't come off nearly as much, and I feel a lot more in control actually. So within reason, commit to the obstacle, and 9 times out of 10 you'll make it. If you don't commit, you've got more chance of not making it. So the third kind of thing that I learned, or the experience that I had, was log crossings. And I had to approach that at a different kind of a different way to how you would on say a dirt bike or a higher powered dual sport, where you can just lift the front end from just using the throttle. So the WR you have to have a little more finesse to get the front wheel up, and it's beyond my capabilities at the moment. So log crossings I can't just do a wheelie and it's all good. So the first time I approached it, I stopped just before the log, and then I kind of balanced the throttle with the clutch and crawled my way over it, and I got a bit stuck with the rear wheel. It took me a bit to get over. And the second time I decided to approach it with a bit of momentum, only in first, but with some momentum, and I cleared it fine. I just kind of bumped over it. Now, when I'm saying logs, I'm meaning, you know, like logs mate, that round, not like massive tree trunks. So obviously they're not that difficult. But my friend also had his first log crossing, and it was on a KLR 650, and he did the same thing, and all the problems I had were accentuated by the extra weight of the KLR. It beached itself on the log because he didn't have enough momentum to get the rear wheel over, and then he ended up cutting a massive trench through the log, and I ended up having to lift the back end up to give him some extra help. So momentum is your friend, not too much but enough if you can't wheelie over logs. And the fourth for me was throttle control. If you saw in the Jarradale video towards the end, I stalled it like 5 or 6 times in a row, I think. It was pretty ridiculous, and that was all down to me basically being lazy with the throttle control. I'm used to riding big bikes. I haven't had my 250 license for, I don't know, a long time. So I've gotten used to torque and power. In the little 250 you really need to rev it when the terrain gets soft, especially uphill. So once I figured out you really just gotta limiter bash the poor little thing, it was fine. But that was a learning curve. Keep your revs up if you got a 250 dual sport. Tyres has been another interesting learning curve. Before hitting the dirt, I remember reading about tyres and all the banter about death wings and how horrible they were. For those of you who don't know, death wings are Bridgestone trail wings which come stock with a Yamaha WR250R and a lot of other dual sports, and they've got a really bad rap on the net. And mine and another bloke that I rode with who has a WR's conclusion was that they're a great tyre, and they're a great tyre because we're both beginners and we have no idea what a good or a bad tyre is off-road. For our skill level, the death wing or trail wing is completely adequate. In fact, it's more than I need really. I haven't got a complaint about it yet. I think it's mainly due to our skill levels, and we don't know what different tyres off-road are like. Well, different, I mean better. I know what these tyres are like off-road, and they're shit. But it's also down to tyre pressure as well, which I've been learning is more of a guesstimation rather than an exact science. I turned up asking if everyone had exact tyre pressures. And they all kind of looked at me funny and said, oh, as long as within this and that range for this terrain. The rule of thumb is the softer the terrain, the less air you need in your tyres. And that seems to be working perfectly for me. As far as learning off-road, I think the only other thing was just being comfortable with the characteristics of how the bike handles. off-road compared to on the road. On the road you want complete traction of both wheels all the time, and that was really scary for me the first few times. It still is worrying, is when I don't have traction, especially it happens all the time with your rear wheel will break loose every which way from Sunday. And after a while you just get used to that, and the consensus seems to be as long as your front wheel has traction and it's going where you want it to go, then your back wheel can do whatever the hell it bloody well likes. Leave it to its own kind of devices within reason. And that's been free, you know, having a bit of fun, hanging the back out and knowing that, you know, it's not going to get you in too much trouble. So the stress levels are slowly starting to drop. I'm no longer clenching my teeth. My knuckles aren't quite as wide as they used to be, although I still have a bit of a death grip. It's a popular little petrol station to stop at on your way out to the country. So yeah, so far so good, I think. Learning a lot of new things. The learning curve is very steep, but I'm really enjoying the challenge. And if you're thinking about doing it, don't hesitate, just do it. So I'm pretty much coming to the end of what I wanted to talk about. I know I've been going on forever, so I do apologise for the length. I can't really seem to be capable of doing a video under 15 minutes. So thanks for tuning in. As always, I've been Chronicles of Solid. Next video should be out in the dirt, so I'll see you there, guys. Thanks for watching.